Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday, the 18th of July. So looking at the euro dollar, and we've seen a surge up through the Asian session there, running into its monthly R1 pivot. Not too sure of the cause of it, but certainly would have been taking out previous sell orders, I should imagine, from this the patterns that were there previously. It's made new highs where we're sitting. It has left a pivot untouched, but it's quite a long way away from it relatively now. We'll see how this works out this morning. It's always not the best move that you really want to see is the big surge when you're not around to trade it. We'll just see how this, if it starts breaking the 8, well, maybe it'll come to 21 and drop down a little bit lower, but at the moment it's pretty bullish with higher lows, higher highs. It's certainly in bullish mode, so it may still have some legs in it. Cable, pound dollar that is. Well, it's not had quite the same surge in. It sold off yesterday back to its daily pivot, but it never made the weekly. And both these markets, of course, both the euro and the pound have the weekly pivots below. But at the moment, it's looking at, we're seeing dollar weakness through these markets, and the pound's pushed up to through the daily pivot there into R1 territory. From here, well. It's a difficult one with the pound. I mean, there's this weakness around the potential of Brexit, etc. But at the moment, we've been seeing this sort of this buying continue, and well, it may well push on further into the previous highs there. And if it starts getting into that territory, maybe even be able to break those. At the moment, though, looking at the hourly pattern, it does look a sort of very indecisive and possibly it may roll over there, but not clear. Dollar yen. Dollar yen seen some further strengthening through the Asian session. Yesterday it managed a little bit of a retrace, but nothing to really write home about, and we're continuing in this sort of move towards its monthly pivot. As I said yesterday, I noticed on the COT report there was some selling of the short, closing of the short positions in the yen, which may suggest there's a bit more of a unwinding and a bit more continuation to go in this move. But we're certainly seeing lower highs, lower lows, very clear movement in terms of price action at the moment. Best side would be to be on the short side, really. Already caught the daily pivot S1, S2 today, so big move already through the Asian session. It may need some patience this morning with some of these markets to see how they settle out to try and get into some of these moves. Okay, dollar yen, Aussie dollar. Again, bullishness coming through here, another surge up and another bigger bar up, and it's already into now its monthly R2. Certainly the signs of the interest rates running up to 3.5% at some time. There's discussions held last night or printed from the meeting, for policy meeting. So that's juiced up the Aussie dollar even further, and well, it's nearly into that monthly R2 already through the weekly R1. As it's doing this, it's overbought on this sort of shorter time frames, and well, as we've seen before, it can sit up in this sort of if you look at the RSI indicator, for example, I've got the bottom here, it can sit up there for a long time. Any retracements are just pretty narrow, and it may well still have quite some legs in that yet. Canadian dollar, again, continuing its path, lower highs, lower lows. Strong moves, and again we've seen this sort of strongish move through the Asian session. So it's really a case of patience this morning to see what we can get out to these markets, to get, if you're not in the trade, to see if there's anything there to be had. Again, well, we're already through the daily pivot S1 on the Canadian dollar. May need, as I say, a bit of patience to see what happens as we run through the day here. I do normally look at oil price at the moment, but the Canadian dollar seems to be going on its merry route regardless of the oil price. Oil was off quite a bit yesterday there, and the Canadian dollar is holding up pretty strongly in terms of where it's going. It too was, well, I had a little blip in the afternoon there, but it's back off again at the moment. So that's pretty much it today in terms of news. We've already had the Australian monetary policy meeting minutes out at that was at 2:30 this morning. Got inflation data coming out for the UK at 9:30. Now this could be if this comes out high, I would suggest that it may create the pound for a rally, because there's been comments that they can't just leave inflation unchecked. So we'll see if interest rates are, well, they won't be discussed today, but certainly the very fact that they may be discussed more could see the pound be bought this morning if that figure comes in higher than expected. We have got Carney speaking actually at 2:30, due to speak at the unveil of the new £10 note, unveiling of the new £10 note. Would be surprised if he mentions too much there, apart from the very fact that it's the new £10 note. But you never know; he may make some comments then. But that's at 2:30 this afternoon. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. Have a great day. Bye for now.